What's up, world? My name is Max Stein, and I love video games.
I'm the Mega Buck. I really love video games.
I'm Rafa Boy, and I love video games.
Guys, Vinny here. I love video games. Let's go.
And welcome to the Game Treasure Podcast, where we discuss treasured video games of yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Tomorrow. My 5-year-old and I just watched Annie last night. Sorry.
Oh, what a nerd.
I know.
So dorky. So this week we have a Hot Steam, the segment where we play new and hot games on Valve's Steam platform. But first, I wanted to quick talk about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm going to force you guys to do this, okay? There was an announcement that there was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Last Ronin live action movie in the works. That's all I'm going to say.
Action?
I just wanted to mention this before we go
Well,
dive into the episode. Yeah, dude.
I didn't know it was live action. Wow.
Yeah, dude.
That's the one that's about like the last Ninja Turtle, right? Is that
The
like,
story-
Is that what it's
Buck,
about,
would
right?
you like to?
Yeah. I don't know much about it.
I can do it without spoilers, but the story is basically at some point in the Turtles' future where Splinter and 3 of the 4 brothers have fallen in battle, and only one of them remains and takes up all of their weapons and the mantle of the last Ronin. And part of the spoilers of it is which one of the brothers survived, right?
Yeah.
Because the character is not wearing a headband.
He's wearing a black one.
Yeah. And so it's like, which one is it? And they don't reveal it to you. Master Splinter's gone, and it's dark. Like it's more like the old Ninja Turtles, where like it's quite violent.
Yes.
And yeah, like Buck mentioned, he uses all the weapons of the turtles collectively, which is very ninja-esque. He's got like tools now. I don't know. I think that comic just kicks ass. So I had to mention it because Venny shot it in the Discord, and I was like, oh snap! That
So
comic
excited.
book whoops ass. There's a little short on YouTube as well. That's really good. Yeah, The Last Ronin. I don't think there's a release date for it, but it's in the works.
Brand new.
Yeah.
Just got details of its existence a
There was
couple
that
days
big-
ago, so we'll see how that goes.
That big CinemaCon convention was this past week, and that's where all that stuff happened.
Exactly,
Marvel announced
yeah.
a bunch of crap. And
Yeah.
that's where that
Yeah.
came
That
from.
sounds
too.
really cool, though.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I'm interested. If it's got that Turtles Part 1 live action vibe, the darker, slower, a little bit more mature. Like, I'm all about that. That one was
Yeah.
my
That movie.
favorite.
Hell yeah.
Love that movie.
I'm just gonna pivot right on here. The BAFTA awards happen, and Baldur's Gate won 5 BAFTAs. Just saying.
Deserved.
This
Only
is
5?
fucking tight. Yeah, only 5.
turns out there's only 6 BAFTA awards.
It's
but-
good, right? Yeah, they need more
okay.
categories for all this fucking game we've got.
Well, that's
I'll
So
allow it.
I don't know. I feel like that's got to be some sort of record for like the most award-winningest game of all time, perhaps. I don't know. It's fucking crazy. And finally, on my personal beloved note, Slay the Spire 2 got announced, baby.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I
Let's
shot over to
fucking
you.
go.
Was
Yeah, that's pretty
that's
dope.
what
I didn't even know
I-
about this.
I thought of you immediately, Mac, when I saw that. I was like, oh, Mac needs to hear about this.
There wasn't really
So-
much to it. It was just sort of like a screen, like a first screen image and whatever. But holy cow. Watch, I can't remember what, I think it was our Cozy Games episode where I gush about Slay the Spire for like 10 minutes or whatever. It's one of my favorite games of all time.
well deserved. Well
Yeah.
deserved.
But anyhow, I
That's-
digress.
That's all great,
Yeah.
but guys, I want to go back.
Back in time. Oh, snap. Where are we going?
Oh,
Where are we going this week?
we going
Take me
gray.
there.
Oh,
great.
it's a big, great
We're
card.
going gray.
Follow up from last week. I like it.
That's right. So you guys
it?
last week, and it's funny because I mentioned this to Venny because he talked about his top 5, and he talked about how Blaster Master wasn't in his top 5. And I said, well, I had a Retro Zone
Ooh.
planned, but we have NES Carousel, and we're going to talk about so much NES anyway, so I'll hold this one to next week. And I said, it's not Blaster Master. He said, but it's Blaster Master adjacent. And this just thoroughly proves the theory of if it was
Huh?
available, you knew about it, and if it didn't, then you didn't know that this gem, the Guardian Legend, existed.
What?
Is that?
I gave you guys a link there in chat
Okay.
to the
Nani?
commercial, to the
Nani?
television commercial for this game.
Okay. Looking now.
The action was blazing in Zelda. The adventure was a blast with Link. Now experience Guardian Legend. Guardian Legend, the most action-packed adventure of all time. Killer crabs, mutant lobsters, secret passages, spectacular transformations, shooting cyclops, deadly jaws, exploding anemones, devious traps, unlimited firepower, a large choice of weapons, and more action than you ever thought possible. Guardian Legend for your Nintendo Entertainment System.
All right.
Made by Broderbund. This game, remember Xanac in my top 5?
Yeah.
This
Man,
game-
yeah.
This game is half Xanac, half Blaster Master. And after
this
after
is crazy.
seeing my
And
Xanac,
Blaster
if that-
Master is already like half of one thing and half of
Oh,
another. So now this
I
game is like
remember
two
this
halves
game.
of a thing.
if you didn't know this
Whoa.
existed, then you didn't know this existed. That's the way it
I
was back then.
remember this game.
This game is flipping
I don't
phenomenal.
know this game at all. You're going to have to
I
explain
don't
in
know
great
this
detail.
either.
So you've got
Dude.
shmup style, and it's very similar to Xanac, even the music and the sound effects, even though it was not made by the same company. It's made by Broderbund, actually. And so
Whoa.
you're playing.
This
yeah,
looks awesome.
yeah, right.
Sorry.
So, but it's true. So you play shmup style, and then in between the areas, to get to them, you play shmup style, and then you almost have a old school Metroidvania crossed with Blaster Master's top down view. But you play as like the ship
What?
transforms into an anime chick.
I'm about to say, is it like an anime girl?
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
sorry.
what?
My
This-
boy- That's
the-
so
It's
funny.
like Tenchi Muyo where the cats turn into the spaceship.
yeah.
The-
Wow. That's hilarious.
Oh, that's dope. I love this.
The biggest
this
bummer
looks good.
probably is I just showed you that that cart, that copy of the cart,
Yes.
and I'll put into Discord for you boys. You can pop up the picture of the Japanese cart that is so ridiculously superior to the cover
Oh my
art.
Nice.
god, that's
Ours.
awesome.
Oh, brother.
that up on
Oh,
screen,
Yeah.
'cause-
Oh, yeah.
I blame poor marketing for putting these eyes and barren wasteland on this thing. For
What is this like?
And Barren Wasteland.
Mobius meets HR Geiger? Like what?
Oh, yeah.
yes,
That's a
110%.
Robot Carnival shit right there.
Yes.
100%.
So
Yeah.
Robot Carnival.
this is another really great example of like I don't know. Maybe they didn't think we were ready for more stuff like this, so we didn't get much stuff like this. And when this didn't sell well, probably because the marketing was poor, the distribution was poor. You know, you even look at the commercial, and the commercial's like, if you played Zelda 1 and Zelda
Right.
2, like you're not Nintendo.
Doesn't
and
look
you're
like
just,
Zelda 1 or Zelda 2.
you're just naming good games for the Nintendo.
Right,
It's
yeah,
part of
yeah.
your marketing.
It's all they had, man. It's all they could do.
Yeah, but Guardian Legend, great one. You can get in Retro Game Treasure. Sent out a couple of copies this month. I grabbed this one out of the warehouse as well too. You need a couple of categories selected for this one, like shmups and action adventure and sci-fi. But
1989.
Yeah.
I was trying to find the publisher here.
Broderbund.
Broderbund. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. I'm gonna have to play that one day. Come over there. It looks
good.
Wait. What was it? Broderbund, like the Mario teaches typing people?
They
Or-
did some. They did a lot of like
like the
weird-ass-
educational stuff.
I can't get over the animation
Oh,
of the
that's
girl
cute.
transforming into the spaceship. It's so funny.
It's
I
pretty
can't believe this is
wicked.
an NES game.
Broderbund did lots of crappy like
Print Shop Deluxe was
Yes.
That's why I know Broderbund. That's hilarious.
they did like Mavis Beacon teaches typing, which a
That-
lot of
that
us
was
of our
it.
age
That
had
was
to
it.
do.
Oh,
They did some
man.
weird shit.
hilarious.
Wow.
Wow. I love this.
What a
They
ridiculous
put out
game.
Fantavision.
Get out of here.
Really?
Oh wait, 1985.
No,
Fantav-
different game
Oh.
named Fantavision.
Oh yeah,
Not the
yeah,
PS2
true.
game.
Yeah.
I was about to say what? Okay.
All right.
The Guardian Legend.
All right, so let's exit the retro zone and stand back in modern times because after the break, we're going to take a hot steam.
Oh baby, I can't wait.
We're back and I'm ready to relax in the sauna. Music cue. Steam cue. Perfect. Welcome to a hot steam here on the Game Treasure podcast where we play and report on hot new Steam games. And gosh dang, the one this week seems quite obvious for me. The game I played this week is Content Warning. Content Warning is the new first-person multiplayer jackass simulator. I want to say it's
Lethal Company meets Jackass for sure.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's very, very Lethal Company. So I don't know how else to explain it. It's a game where you and up to 3 friends use a straight up camcorder, like a 90s, early 2000s styled DV camcorder with square aspect ratio and everything, and a series of other tools, including like boom microphones or like single hand like cardioid mics and lights
Laugh
and all sorts
tracks.
of things to go into like a spooky dungeon and just film scary shit, and then you bring it back and rewatch the thing you just filmed, which never gets old, by the way. And you get these little
That was
fake
great.
you get these little fake like comments that generate and views that get created. I'm not entirely sure how the algorithm works. I was trying to find out today, and even IGN is just sort of vague. They're just like, the audience likes stuff, so make sure to pay attention to what they like. And I was like, oh, that's not really helpful at all. But yeah, and so it's a series of thresholds, just like in Lethal Company, where you have like a quota to meet, but instead of getting cash, you get views.
Yeah, 3 days to do so, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 3 days to do so. Every time you progress this 3-day cycle, the quota goes up exponentially. It's so goddamn fun. I played it with Raph and his friends, and then we played it with another cluster of friends. We just played it before we played on the stream.
We just
before we
played
got
around.
on the podcast here. And man, I'm gonna talk to Raph about this as well. Raph, can you explain how you feel about Content Warning?
Dude, it's just like what they did with this game is genius, because this game came out. Well, first of all, the studio has a history of releasing games on April 1st. It's Landfall Studios, I believe they call it Landfall Day. I think I don't know if I got that right, but yeah, they release games on April 1st, and they give this one away for free. Apparently, I missed that one, but dude, it just no marketing at all. They didn't do any marketing at all with this game. They just released it, and then people just started filming videos and posting those videos online. It started to grow, and I could see why, because dude, it's what we do right here. You know, it's content creation, but in the form of a video game. It's so meta, you know?
Yes, it
It's
is, and it
just, yeah, man, a huge amount of fun. I fucking love this game.
personally for me, as young as like 5 years old, 6 years old, Buck would give me our family camcorder, and I would film him and his friends doing stupid shit, right? And then this leads all the way to just recently, you know, going to film school and getting a degree in film productions, and in this game I get to be a cameraman. Which is very, very satisfying. But the
Good
things
at it
like
too. All our videos come out great.
the objects like that you get to, like the boom mic, for example. One of your compatriots can carry around a boom mic, and it's this super directional shotgun mic that you can point at things like your friend's feet or a monster's face, like when it's screaming at you,
Oh my God.
in order to make your video scarier for the viewers. It, like, I don't know, you just like, I do things like hold on, I'm gonna go outside the spaceship, and then I'm gonna get you guys coming out of the spaceship, and then
That's so
you get
much
like
fun.
a nice, and then the people who are in the scene don't get to watch it until you get on the couch. So
Yeah.
there's this, it's so funny. There's a Dimitri Martin joke or whatever, I think, where he's like talking about like digital cameras and when they came out. It's like, it's instant nostalgia, like click. Remember back then, like that's, but it's so, it really is super, super fun. And we were talking about how I think Buck and Venny both said that they liked it a little bit more than Lethal Company.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the reasons that this is, and I'm just speculating, you can elaborate if I'm wrong, but is that it cuts out the middleman of what the gameplay of Lethal Company really is, which is get scared. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like where you're trying to collect money, and so but in this game, it's just like
Get
Buck
scared
had
is the
said,
goal.
Yes, Buck had said, like, if everyone dies, it doesn't matter, because you get like this very, very tiny cash like penalization if your teammates die, but as long as the camera survives, you can make the money and get the view. Yeah, you win. And so, like, honestly, sometimes you want your friends to go get killed so you can film it, and you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
That's good content right there.
I was talking to a friend of mine about this game, and I was comparing it to the obvious Lethal Company and Phasmophobia, are the two games that I typically think of when I think of this genre.
Okay.
And both of those games have a problem with their design. Phasmophobia is heavily focused on you getting in, finding the evidence, and then getting out, unless you're one of the players that likes to do challenges. Lethal Company is all about do a quick run, grab as much scrap as you can, get the hell out, sell it. This game is not about getting in quick. It's about getting in, going deeper, and when you, oh my God, we still have 40% battery left on the camera. Okay, we need to get down there again, find another monster, get one of us killed, get one of us scared.
We got to get to I should elaborate, I guess. So there's the camcorder that you have has a certain amount of footage. It's 90 seconds, I believe.
90 seconds.
And so you have to fill the full 90 seconds of footage before you can go. And so, like Raph said, there is a time limit that is imposed on you in the form of an oxygen tank that you're wearing because you delve into the depths. And so that's its form of the sunset thing in Lethal Company. The difference being that the game does not get more difficult the longer you're in there per se. And so you don't feel that pressure of like, oh, we should do stuff, but we can't because it's going to get too just dangerous. Not scary, just dangerous. Whereas in this game, like Raph said, you'll get to a point where, like maybe one person is dead and something was just chasing you, but then you still have 25% left on the camera. And you're like, guys, I hate to say this, but I think we have to turn around and go back in. Oh my gosh. And there's all sorts of crazy creatures in this game. There's a starfish that hangs off the ceiling that'll drop an appendage that picks you up and dangles you.
It'll kill Raph over and over again.
That's great content.
There's a snail man guy. There's a spooky like ghost child that like and has like a knife.
It's like a Tonberry.
There's a guy that has.
He was kind of like a Tonberry.
There's a guy straight out of Silent Hill whose like body is just a giant egg beater.
Yes.
He just is a giant egg beater with legs, and he comes screaming through the level at like the fastest speed of any monster in the game.
Yeah. So I have that sound
random
effect machine. I bring that sound effect machine, and
Yeah.
he kept zipping back and forth our video, and I kept playing the car skid sound effects. So he'd zoom through the screen, and it would go.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. There's a guy that throws bombs.
That guy's terrifying,
dude. Those spiders. Honestly, dude, the camera, that's the crux of it. Is like,
yes,
the camera has to make it back. So that's another thing is that someone goes down holding that camera. You guys escape, and it's like, well, we've got to go back for the camera now.
Or you're being grabbed. Toss the camera. Toss the camera.
You can throw items in this game, and so like Buck just alluded to, there'll be moments where if you're the cameraman and you're trying to get some good footage and you get too close to the sun and you get grabbed by a snail or whatever, first of all, you got to turn the camera around and do a selfie because that's good footage, which you can do.
I'm being eaten.
And it's funny every time, and you know why? Because your face is comprised of text, so you can make a little like
emojis.
So when you turn the camera around, you have a stupid ass face on, dude. It's
magic.
It's super fun. We're like we were playing earlier today, and we got like to like the fourth day.
The third
fourth
day.
Not the fourth day, but the fourth cycle of days or whatever.
Oh wow,
yeah.
You had a pretty good run going,
dude.
Our quota is huge. Like
our quota is like 130,000 likes now or something.
Right,
ridiculous.
and so we have to like bring all this shit. So we we grabbed emojis, and so like Buck has jumping jacks, and so it's just like if there's a monster, first of all, Buck, you got to do jumping jacks by the monster because like that's content. You know what I mean? And then Raph, we got a taser. Gotta tase the monster. That's good content. Like it's,
but it's like I mentioned before. Like, hey, trying to explain the game. Did you have a handy cam when you were a kid? Did you ever make videos? And everyone says yes to that answer.
Right.
Everyone says yes to that answer.
Do
so
you have
a
phone?
Yeah.
Right.
See, like one of the times Raph didn't get up out of bed, which is a mechanic in the game. You sleep between the days.
Oh yeah.
We're like, he's AFK, and Mac's like, go do jumping jacks on his face. And I'm doing jumping jacks, and Mac's like, this is Bam Margera. We're gonna wake up my dad. And then we didn't. And then
it got us like 100 likes right out the gate.
And then we didn't tell Raph. And then when we went went and finished it and came back and watched the video. We watched the beginning, and he was like, "Hey, I was asleep, you guys."
Yeah,
It was funny.
I didn't even see that shit. Oh, that's so funny.
Oh my god.
Right? That
Oh my
creates
God.
some magic that you can't. That's hard to replicate in a game. So it's taken this like beautiful idea of the horror and everything else, but made it into a fun community thing with less stress of a lot of these others.
It's got that charm of, hey, the goofier shit that you can do with your friends,
Right.
The more fun you're having,
You get rewarded.
Yeah. Right. Well, like when you jumped off and like fell from that height, you got comments and like views because of that. I was
And
like,
I played
that's
the-
hilarious.
And I played the slide whistle sound effect as I fell.
And it's always funny because usually you want to get a little bit of footage because it's hard to get all 100% on monsters. You want to get a little bit beforehand. So it's always the beginning starts out normal, and then usually you don't start rolling the camera until something crazy as fuck has happened. And so it just starts off as like, hey guys, we're going to the behinds, and then no, just like instantly everyone's screaming. It's
You know what it is? Almost every time we watch it, it makes me feel like we're watching like a segment from the Blair Witch Project.
yes,
Like the original found footage.
Sure.
And whatever
Yeah.
mechanic they have in the game for the camera is really well done, because if you leave the camera recording and you drop it, you sometimes get some great sideways angles of the monster running down the hall at the
Oh,
team,
wow.
right?
some Skinamarink shit
That
for real.
crazy weird movie.
Ah.
But yeah, the mechanic there is so well done. I think it's
It's then the art style too. There's just a little. It's got like this crazy like etched pen art style on everything, and then the
Everything looks
camera has like a shitty filter on it, and so it looks like an old shitty camera footage. It's so fucking tight.
and then you all go sit in the living room and rewatch your video between everyone. It's like you get
Yeah.
like this instant gratification of every
Instant.
run that you do.
Yes.
Right?
You literally sit on a couch
that's
and you have to
part
go.
of the
Everybody
reward.
ready?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Not to mention when you turn in the footage, you have to dunk it like a basketball into the fucking
Makes
bin,
a
which is
DVD.
hilarious enough.
Makes it
When-
DVD.
when
Sometimes
part
the
of-
bin will shoot it back out.
When part of the reward is getting to sit and goof and like laugh about what you just did, and that's a game, that's part of the game mechanic, you got something right.
It's
Yes.
it's like the only game mechanic, which is
They
just like
nailed it.
Jesus, wow, what a brilliant thing. They really nailed
Hanging out hanging out with your friends and watching your own shenanigans that you just did, and I remember that, and laughing and shit. Like that's the game. That's really kind
I
of
think
cool.
that's called Facebook. I just
Right. So many of the funniest clips involve us pretending to be scared of one thing and then actually getting scared while pretending. Like that's
Something else.
happened to Raph and I yesterday.
We found some ribs, guys.
Oh, watch out, it's ribs. Oh my God, it's like instantly something behind us attacks us or whatever. It's so fun just to see things from the other angles. You know what I mean? If you're not the cameraman, you went through that interaction, but not from that spot. And so you
Like,
didn't
we're all
see this, you
waiting-
didn't see that. Like,
Yeah,
Man, it's fucking great.
we're all waiting to see how it turns out when we sit down in front of the TV. It's
Right.
really fun.
Yeah.
It's like
So
very
imagine-
exciting, you know.
So imagine some of the fun they can do with this game, without hopefully spoiling the soup, you know. But like, for instance, we had one earlier today. Me and Raph were playing. Mac was the cameraman. He died, and we were very lost. It was a huge level. I convinced everybody to jump down a random pipe because we were being chased by monsters.
so many things.
And it was like we had to find our way out. And we lost each other. Mac died. Me and Raph got separated. And I ended up, Mac, I think, was watching me because he was dead. You can watch the other players when they're dead. And I ended up in this series of like the Shining style thin
Hedge
corridors
maze
with
ass
doors.
fucking.
And I knew there were a couple of those slug
You
men
could hear 'em.
slowly chasing me. But the thing was, it was a winding maze. So a couple times I'd get to a dead end and I'd be like, shit, I had to backtrack and get out before they got to me.
It was scary.
And I shit you not, though, I leave all this. I get to the outside of the building, but I'm like 5 stories up, and I just YOLO down to like a ledge. And I turn the ledge, and I hear, oh my God, I'm never gonna find the Buck. Holy shit, Raph! And we found each other like after being
So
lost
funny.
for like 5 minutes.
Got this great directional audio when you play with the in-game sound. It's fucking
Yes.
tight. Yeah.
I have
It's
never
awesome.
felt more elated.
Yeah.
In
I
my
want to.
life
I want
when
to
I
play
found
more.
Buck.
That
It's
was
really
so great.
satisfying.
Yeah.
It's like, how did we do that?
Fuck.
Yeah.
So good. All right, that's enough about content warning. I think I'm gonna move on. Let's see, Buck, did you
Yeah.
get to play anything else by chance on Steam?
Man, I played some great Steam stuff lately. Recently I picked up Midnight Suns. Finally, Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Marvel
you've
Midnight
been
Suns.
talking about that one. Yeah.
Ever since it came out, I've been
Ooh.
eyeballing it. I know it got a bad rap at the beginning because I think it had some bugs and it had some little issues on it, so I waited on it too. But it's out on console and on Steam, and I need to get a physical copy as well for my collection for sure. But I've been playing it on Steam Deck and PC. It's really neat. It really nails the comic book aesthetic. It's like a turn-based style, almost like XCOM, but without the squares to move in between. When you do certain moves, it'll move your character, and you get one free move per turn. But it's a deck builder at its core. If your team on a mission, for example, is Ghost Rider, Spider-Man, and Blade, they each get a dozen cards. It gets shuffled into one big deck, and then you draw a certain amount of cards each turn. And the game doesn't care if Spider-Man takes all three of the actions or Blade takes all three of the actions. It's whatever cards that you drew from those.
Right.
It has a whole mechanic system that goes in it from there as well too. But I really enjoy that kind of turn-based strategy RPG with like the fun comic book tropes shot in. It's a good or bad, maybe. Some people don't like it. I do like the fact that there's a place called the Abbey. It's like the Midnight Suns HQ. It's kind of like Doctor Strange's sanctum, and it's actually like a base of operations. You go between every mission, and you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me
Fire
of,
Emblem?
No, remember?
That's what it reminded me of.
Oh no,
Three Houses.
No, the fighting. Well, the fighting in the rounds is actually very XCOM like without the squares.
No. The in between part reminded me of that Three Houses Fire Emblem where you have to like talk to all the students. Do you play that one?
Okay, I did not, but that makes a
okay.
lot of sense. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of a cross between Fuga, where I have to interact with all the characters between rounds, and what was the first Mortal Kombat? Was it Armageddon, the one that added the crypts and the other places where you ran around freely to collect treasure
I don't remember.
chests?
I know what you mean. I don't know what I don't remember which the first game was, but yeah.
Because the building itself is like 10% of the map with a whole courtyard and winding areas and cliffs and everything around it. And hidden all throughout that are hidden items and tarot cards and puzzles and word puzzles and find 4 of this statue and all that kind of stuff. That all gives you in-game currency to upgrade cards and unlock new abilities. And that's
neat.
super cool. So instead of just in between, just talking to people, you get to do all this other fun shit in between, right?
Nice.
But the comic book tropes are really a lot of fun. There's a scene I took a screenshot of. Some of the characters do not look so great, but it's okay. There was a scene where I had with Captain Marvel, and she was like, hey, so-and-so hero, can you go do this? Basically says, go do this shitty fetch quest for me. And of course you have choices, but I answer, yes, of course we'll do that for you. And her answer was, quote, there's that can do, get it done, old-timey prophesized savior of humanity attitude I was hoping to see today.
What the fuck? Why would they
Self-aware.
say that? What?
Because it's self-aware. It's just memeing on itself.
Yes, it does that a lot. It'll like introduce characters, and it'll be like they'll introduce the characters, and Doctor Strange and Iron Man will be there, and the old Ghost Rider Johnny Blaze is there, and he's like, look, you and Robo Man just hightail it out of here. I don't want to see your kind. And then like it introduces Doctor Strange, and a minute later and shows a card up that says like, Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme. And then when it does Iron Man's, it pops up and says Robo Man, part Robo, part man. Like it just makes fun
RoboCop,
little.
wow.
That's
Yeah,
great.
it has a sense of humor. It makes fun little quips about itself in the process. Instead of,
I love that.
like you've seen Iron Man 400 times, right? Like
It's like that Borderlands humor,
Yes,
right? Where
exactly.
where it's absolute the comedy is on purpose at its own expense, and I love it.
Right. You have a dog that's actually like a demon because you're a demon hunter and it's some dog you adopted who her name is Charlie. And she's like a greyhound that is all red and covered in spikes. But if
my
you
God.
Oh man.
in between missions, if you pet her every day, you get bonuses for doing it. Like they
Yeah.
encourage you to pet your dog
And you
on a
can
daily
pet the
basis.
dog.
Yes.
Yeah, because you play as
That
like
makes it a
some
10 out of 10.
character that was made just for that game, I believe.
It's a made up one. You
Yeah.
can choose male or female. It's completely voiced. The whole game is voiced from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some of the voice actors are really good sound-alikes. Some of them are just, this is the character. Some of them are fucking terrible.
I only
Bruce
played-
Banner's voice actor is
I only played a couple hours, but the Blade is one of the characters you get very early
Yes.
on, and he's very
Yes.
silly,
Yes.
which is funny. Sentence to
it's-
say they make Blade very silly.
it's an interesting interaction of
Yeah.
them all too, because like they make the joke like, oh, da-da-da, should we take this seriously? And Blade's like, yeah, we should take this seriously, as we have this cosmic omniscient powerhouse being a demon slayer and a daywalker. Like, yeah, we should take this seriously.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a fun ass game.
Mm-hmm.
How about yourself, Raph?
So this week I played a game that was on sale called Buckshot Roulette.
Oh, fuck yeah.
You heard that right.
Oh,
Hang
man.
on,
You heard
hang
that
on.
right.
I bought
I
that. I
gotta
have
look
not
at
played
that,
it
right.
yet, but it
I
looks
gotta
good.
look this up.
It's very inscription
So
like.
it says release date was April 4th. I didn't realize that this came out like so recently. But yeah,
Oh, wow, it's like
a very
$3.
inscription like game. Yeah, it's very cheap. Yeah, it's very cheap right now. I played a couple of games this week that were relatively cheap, but this was the one that stood out because I had a really good time with a really short amount of playtime with it. But the concept is you just all of a sudden become awake and you are in a bathroom at like a nightclub with someone had written afraid on like the mirror or something like that with a question mark, afraid, and you just bust in through the door. You come out into this nightclub, you bust in through the next door, and you're sitting at a table. The guy explains that you guys are going to play Russian roulette with a shotgun. He puts the rounds in at random and he puts the shotgun on the table. There's nothing like sitting down at a table and knowing that the only option is the shotgun in front of you. Yeah.
Hello, is
like,
this Quentin Tarantino?
Yeah, dude, it gives you a screen where it's just the shotgun there, and then it says you or the dealer. So basically you pick up the shotgun and it has, let's say, 3 blanks and 2 live rounds in it that have been put in there at random. You have to choose to aim it at yourself, pull the trigger, or aim it at the dealer and pull the trigger. If you aim it at yourself and pull the trigger and it doesn't fire, then that means that the dealer, you get to skip their turn the next go around. The thing that makes it very Inscription-like is the items, the various items that you can use to aid you. So you can do things like have a beer. You chug the beer, and then that means that you can rack the shotgun, and whatever round was in there leaves. You can pull up a magnifying glass that you can smash, and I don't know what the point of it is, but he pulls out the magnifying glass, smashes it, then just chucks the shotgun without the magnifying glass. I don't know what the point it is, but you can see what the next shell is. There's a cigarette you can smoke, and it replenishes your health. Because there's a health system too. Like you play in rounds, and it goes 1, 2, and 3 stages before the final stage where it cuts off the defibrillator. So if you get near the end of it, it's life and death. It's just like one shot and that's it. Good game,
Wow.
man. I played it for a few hours, and it is.
It's like
Play it
Russian
with-
roulette meets Balatro or whatever. Like
Right,
it's
yeah,
like what they
exactly.
did with poker, but with Russian roulette.
You gotta play it with headphones in because
Yeah.
the thumping club music and then the shotgun blast is the most frightening thing. It's made me jump every single time that it happens, and the
Oh,
screen
yeah.
goes black. It's brutal.
That's
game,
hilarious.
but
That makes me think of. I just linked this. I just linked you guys to this, but this is an NES homebrew game called Russian Roulette. There's 2 versions and Super Russian Roulette.
What?
It's an NES zapper game where you can play multiple players, the different versions of it, or you're versus a cowboy, an AI cowboy, and it's basically that. You have the zapper, and it's just like he goes, "All right, your turn," and like it does these eyes and this really scary, tense sound effect thing, and then you pull the trigger of the zapper,
Whoa, hell
whether
yeah.
or not and then he has to take a
Wow.
turn. You go back.
Whoa, that's awesome. It's just Russian roulette. That's hilarious.
It's just Russian Roulette.
That's the Nintendo
Wild.
seal of approval. I tell you that.
I'm sure that one would not
Yeah,
have skated
I
by.
purchased that Russian roulette shotgun. What's it called? Buckshot roulette.
Oh,
that
Buckshot
right?
Roulette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not played it yet, but it looks. The art also is very like spooky inscription, like
Yeah.
scary floating head and shit.
Yeah. There's something about it, and I don't know, the gameplay, like it starts to stack more and more shells too. So you'll have like 4 live ones and then like 3 blank ones in there. So the majority of them are live, and you're guessing the whole time. You're having to strategically use items. It gets very, very fun and surprising with such a simple concept. It's like Inscription, but without the cards. And it's like, how do you do that? And it's with a shotgun.
We'll find a way.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, Benny.
Man,
What have you got for us from Steam this week?
That NES Russian roulette is just, I just
Oh,
love
it's
it.
tight.
The quips from the cowboy are just the best. Anyway, for Hot Steam this week, I played a music game that I found the demo for, and by the time this episode airs, the full version, the full game will be out. It is called Remix. All right. Guys, it's a Vampire Survivor style rhythm game.
Oh, hell yeah. I fucking love Vampire Survivors.
And the music is catchy as hell. The characters are like, got that cutesy Chinese animation style. It's made by a Chinese dev, I believe.
Yeah.
And the demo was a little wonky. Some of the menus weren't quite right, and you can tell the translations are not the best. But the game itself is really cool. I mean, it's really freaking cool. Like, it hooked me right away. And
Oh, wow.
Cool.
I'm looking at it now.
It is neat.
Yeah.
And instead of like picking abilities, you select bandmates and they do the various attacks and various, styles of moves and stuff like that. So you end up with this little gravy train of like your band leader, and like 4, 5, 6 little guys following you around. And it's done with WASD or the directional keys on your keyboard. It's on PC, on Steam. And the idea is you are you're doing the movement in line with the beat at the top of the screen. And like the first character for every 4 beats you get correctly, there's like a cymbal crash and it does this like big AoE damage thing. So that's like the incentive to stay on beat is you'll do more damage, etc.
What's that Zelda game made by the Crypt of the Necro Dancers?
Cadence of Hyrule.
Cadence of Hyrule.
Yeah.
Is it kind of like that where you have to like press things in beat kind of situation?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
But it's 100% Vampire Survivors DNA.
Okay, cool. This looks
it
cool.
looks like a Survivor. Like, yeah, it looks. Really
I
cool.
can't wait to play it, honestly.
You played it on stream, didn't you? Play the demo?
I played it on stream. I played the demo on stream. I was in between games. We were swapping over, and I was like, wait, I really want to show you guys something. And so I booted this up for like 20 minutes and went through a couple rounds, and people in the chat were like, this is cool. I'm like, yeah, it really is. So by the time this episode airs, the full version will be out. I'm 100% getting it because this is totally up my alley. So
Hell
that is my hot Steam share for the week. Thank you for asking.
Very nice. All right. You're welcome, sir.
Yes.
Let's take off our towels and dry off so we can get to our what else you got. Okay, this week for what else you got.
Can I go first?
Yes, go ahead.
Fallout!
Yeah.
Fallout on Amazon! Yahoo!
Fallout came out on
The
Amazon.
Fallout
yeah.
live action series came out
I
like
watched the
3
first
days ago.
episode.
My wife and I, we've been wanting to watch it. We just haven't found the time yet. We're going to sit down and watch the full hour and 15-minute first episode tomorrow. It's happening. So, brother.
I watched it today.
I'm excited.
I think, Raph, you caught the back half of the episode, right? While we were
A
watching
little bit.
it.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's
And,
really good so far, though.
It
Yeah.
is. I was so Buck. Have you watched it at all?
No, all I've heard is it's like Last of Us good.
It's certainly Last of Us gory. Holy
Oh, for sure,
camoli! I was
yes.
so
I can't wait.
surprised. I was like, Amazon? Are you okay? They're having an HBO complex over there. It seemed like they were just like, how do we make our show for adults? They're like, let's kill people in it. And they're like, a lot of
Fallout.
people. That's what Raph was like. Well, there are a lot of perks in Fallout that
yeah.
make people's limbs explode and bodies implode or whatever. And boy,
I mean,
blame
guys,
effort.
it's Jonathan Nolan. I mean, he's the guy that directed Westworld. So, I mean, you're gonna have that. You're gonna have that really great cinematic vibe the
That
whole way
makes
through.
so much sense.
It does, right? It makes perfect sense for Fallout. Like
Yeah.
that, because Fallout's got that gritty outdoor, kind of, desolate desolate waistland
certainly is
setting.
inspired by the Wild West, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
They certainly use a lot
the
of
Wild
that.
West. I mean, thinking about historically, you see these old westerns and stuff, and it is very desolate and
There's
empty.
literally a
and-
ghoul that wears a cowboy hat is like one of the main
Yeah.
characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
That's a very Fallout thing.
I'll say
It
that
is
makes
a very Fallout thing. Mhm.
sense too, because Westworld's like an ensemble cast show where there's like many really good actors in it. This show is doing that because this is also, I think, not necessarily spoilers, but just like they do a really good job like touching all the things. I think it's mostly Fallout 4 things. I'm not sure. I don't like
Fallout's kind of one.
I think
Yeah.
universe, just
that's the only
Fallout
one
has a
I've
pretty
played is why I said. But
it's a very
there's
cohesive universe. Yeah.
like Game of Thrones or something. There's a character that has a toe in each little thing that like from you know what I mean. You got a guy in the Brotherhood of Steel. You got a guy who's fucking in the vaults, and
Right.
it was good.
It's the smartest writing that you could do with a property like this. It's don't
Yeah.
follow the story of a game, just make your own story set in that universe because it already has a cohesive universe
Yes.
with a history and everything to it. You could just set it in the world and that's it. And
Right.
it works.
Yeah, you
Put the
didn't need to copy
characters
a game,
from the
follow it along.
game in the show. Like, don't
Right.
make your own. Don't like, and that's what they did. They got the robots, the robot helpers. All the set design looks correct.
I can't wait to see the super mutants.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
hope-
too.
I hope.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I hope.
They weren't in the
Death
first
Claws!
episode. I'll spoil that. They weren't. They weren't there
Yes,
yet.
Death Claws. Yeah,
Oh
I can't
shit!
wait.
Yeah.
Death
Oh, man.
Claws.
Oh, the power suits are so scary. Like you're like,
I love it.
"Oh, it's
Yeah.
a power suit. It's huge.
Dog Ninja Riot.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a good show. It's probably watching an episode after this. All right. I'll do my. What else you got? I have 1.5. I'll do my half
Fine.
first, which is I hope not Bucks, but I watched the last episode of X-Men '97,
Attaboy.
and I'm not even
Well,
just
the
go
most
watch
recent
it.
one,
Just go watch it.
I haven't
Just,
seen it
if you like
yet.
X-Men at all, just watch this show. It's really good. It's Buck was correct when he said that it's the best X-Men property thing that has come out in a really long time. The last episode had me in tears. I was so sad
Or you're not
because
human,
the
one of
writing
two.
is really, really intelligent and it's really tragic and it was incredible.
Wow.
But I also played and beat a video game. I played Jusant. Have you guys
Nope.
heard of this game?
Can
Nope,
you
I'm pretty
spell
sure
this, please?
You made it up. I'm pretty sure you made it
It's a French name, yeah.
J-U-S-A-N-T.
up. Let me guess. You're a crossing guard and you have to help children cross the road.
Honestly, it's
Is it a
scary
different
how
job?
close you were.
Oh wow.
You're a rock climber. No, it is. You are it's Don't Nod Studios is the developer. I think it's like a team from Quebec or something. This game
Looks beautiful, Mac.
feels very French. I'll say that. It's if you've ever played Journey before for the PlayStation 3, one of my personal, I'd say top 10 video games of all time. A game where you're basically just walking through the desert aimlessly, or not aimlessly. You just have one sort of singular goal that you're not sure why you're even walking to it. This game is very much so like that.
This is pretty.
You play as this young lad who has this cute little blue animal thing on your shoulder, and you just rock climbing is the only mechanic in the game. So, but it's actually a pretty cool rock climbing mechanic. It reminds me of that game. Geez, what's the one where you're the guy in the pot and you've got the hammer and you're trying to climb that?
Up and over, or what's it called, or something like that.
Yeah, I
You
think
know what
that's
I'm
just
talking
up and over.
I
Yeah,
do, yeah.
I don't know the name of it, but yeah.
He made another one just recently where you're just rock climbing, and it's very similar to that. Basically, like each of the trigger buttons will operate each of your individual hands, and so you'll approach a wall and it'll have a series of slots in the wall, and it just becomes a sort of not so hard but very like Zen sort of puzzle that you have to get into with identifying the correct hand slits, because as you'd imagine in a rock climbing game, you have like a grip meter that slowly drains, and then you can every once in a while like take a break to regain it, but it's always sort of the max level is always permanently going down a little tiny bit. But yeah, it's a really beautiful game, and there's no dialogue in it. Like the story is told through like little pieces of like text that you find throughout the world, which I'm not gonna lie, I completely skipped through. But even without like understanding, I was like, oh, okay, you're like this guy. He's going to the top of these mountains to activate these shrines for video game purposes. But there's all sorts of effects. Like sometimes the walls are hot, and so you lose stamina faster. Sometimes it's windy. Sometimes it's wet. But it was pretty short experience, maybe like 10 hours total. And it was on Game Pass. So yeah, it was really fun. Jusant, if you have a couple afternoons and you I don't know, the idea of a rock climbing puzzle game sounds entertaining to you, play it. It's fun. I liked it. Raph, what else have you got for us this week?
Well, I've been playing the usual. I'm still playing through Final Fantasy VI, just kind of grinding away at that. But I decided over, the just before the weekend and started here. I was kind of messing around with some of my games, going through my old backlog of games, and I found a game that I'd bought like a few months back that I hadn't really gotten around to playing, and I kind of messed around with it. I had a really good time with it. But this game is called Gloomgrave, and it's really, really cheap. It's like $5, and it's just, if you've ever played like Legend of Grimrock or something like that, it's just this little dungeon crawler. You move in a grid, like a grid first person dungeon crawler. Yeah, it's fun. It's a good time killer. Like you can just hop into it, do a run. It's procedurally generated. It's a roguelike. But it's got this cute little pixel art aesthetic, and I had a lot of fun playing it. I played it for a couple of hours, and I'm probably gonna mess around with it later on tonight. It's kind of like like I said, it's just a time killer, but it's fun as hell. Check it out.
This looks cute as hell.
Nice, dude.
This looks like Barony.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But it's like turn-based,
Hell yeah.
It's like a guy type.
Buck,
Yeah,
what else you got
I
for
got
us
that.
this week?
Same thing. I got 1.5. I beat Rebirth.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
So I know what happens.
Oh, I haven't had it spoiled for me. I don't.
I
Oh
did
shit.
not either, and I am very proud of the internet for not.
I
Yeah?
am too. I haven't had it spoiled for me either.
Wow.
Yeah, seriously.
I did not like Remake a whole lot.
Okay.
I don't like games that railroad you. Like I didn't like Final Fantasy 13 very much because of the railroading.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't dig the combat as much. Rebirth opened up a lot more. The world exploring was so much more fun now that it was open world. It had like a hint of like Breath of the Wild in there with the towers.
All right, the open world area.
Doing all the stuff. It had these towers that opened up to other things and challenges and fights.
Chocobo riding. Yeah.
I felt a lot better with the way the characters and mix and match, and there were story parts where they forced you to have certain characters in your team. And at first I was like, oh, that sucks. I want to do these 3. But then I realized, no, this is neat. They're making me do that. They did a lot of the Final Fantasy VI stuff where they split your party up on purpose. Like you're in the high and the low area. So
right.
Aerith and Cloud and Tifa are up here, and Red 13 and
Do you get to
Barrett.
decide how you split it, or no? It just makes you split.
Most of the time it makes you split, but sometimes you get to decide like who goes with.
Cool.
Goes with as the other characters. I enjoyed it. We all know that they're changing things, but they did an amazing job of a lot of it being the same while being more robust, being more game, and then spoiler. So.
Did you like the spoiler?
Yes, I like the way that they ended it. I don't know. They did the same as like Final Fantasy 7. Like disc 1 is remake, disc 2 is rebirth, disc 3, which if I'm not mistaken was just like go find Sephiroth and kill him in the chasm.
It's
like
literally just the northern crater. Yeah,
It's
disc
true.
3 is
Remake
it's
was
just the final dungeon.
Remake was, and there's a lot of side content, right? Like then that's
right.
it. Just go find him. Remake was 30
Right, yeah.
hours. Rebirth took me 89.
Wow.
So
I saw you playing it a lot. I didn't know it was that long.
Whoa.
And I did most of the content, but not all of the content. There's a don't have to spoil it. There's a Knight of the Round style like challenge / summon kind of thing that's like really post game, because I tried it and I'm like, I'm not built for this yet. I think I need to go back after the game. And it has one really, really cool feature with no spoilers, and that is when you beat the game on your same save file, you can choose to go back to any one of the 14 chapters and play them again. And that includes the gold saucer dating portions. And it's also based on relationships. But since obviously you had a relationship with one person or another,
Mm-hmm.
you can go replay that chapter and tell the game, oh, but change my relationship so that it was with Tifa. Change
Ooh.
my relationship so that it was with Barrett, and I could go on a date with Barrett.
Oh, hell yeah.
So you can.
The
it'll
Barrett
let
one
you
is supposed to be
manually
very
change
funny.
that.
Right.
It'll
Oh
manually let
Lord,
you
I bet it
change that.
is.
Oh, wow.
I tried to.
Why you pick me to ride a Ferris wheel, Mark? It's gonna happen.
That actor had actually pretty good range with that character, even
Oh
though
my
that was
God.
most of his character. There
Mhm.
were quite a lot of scenes, and they do the whole thing with dying and everything else, and that guy shows actually a lot of range by the end of it.
That's really funny.
I'm not gonna lie, Kate Sith ended up being one of my favorite characters in battle because
I'm so
Whoa,
glad to
really?
hear that. I'm so glad to hear that. I
Weird.
adore Kate Sith.
I hated him in the
Weird.
original
Great
because it
design.
was all just
I
roulette
never used
shit,
Kate
and it
Sith.
didn't
Yeah.
exactly me either.
Yeah.
And in this, he's a lot more of a brawler because you summon the giant Moogle, and then the Moogle can do like spinning lariats and drop kicks and shit.
Oh, shit. You just
But they-
play as Kate Sith?
You just play as Kate Sith
Oh,
with his little
whoa.
megaphone.
Cool.
And one of your abilities is you can summon the Moogle, and just like in the old 7, your weapons can give you permanent abilities.
Right.
And so you can make it so that the Moogle will throw out mines. You can make it so when the Moogle runs out of health, he will blow up.
Whoa.
I've had fights
Cool.
where I was fighting, and I had summoned the Moogle, and Kate Sith died, fell in battle,
Uh-huh.
and the Moogle's health hadn't ran out yet, so it kept AI just fighting with me.
Cool.
Oh,
Hell
Badass.
yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty neat.
Gnarly.
I
God.
definitely liked that a lot more. Enjoyed it. I'm really glad to see where it was going.
Fuck
There
yeah.
was some parts. There were some parts at the end. It was funny. I liked that we did our 7 turnaround episode a few back because it reminded me about all the Kingdom Hearts stuff that's doing a remake. Because there are quite a few moments in this game where it got really Kingdom Heartsy.
We went. Go watch our Final Fantasy VII remake episode to explain why it gets very Kingdom Heartsy.
And there were
it
moments where it
runs
was like,
deep.
yeah, and it was like, oh, I understand what's going on, and then something happens, and it was like, oh, never mind, I don't understand. Oh, maybe it's this, and then they would do something else, and be
Oh,
like, no,
never
I was wrong
mind.
about that. Oh, it's this. What the hell? Okay, I'm totally confused now.
That's really funny.
Who are these guys, and what the fuck are they doing here? And I don't know what's going on. I thought I was just chasing the Turks.
Ah, fuck! I'm chasing a shadow.
But my big
Oh,
and
that's
best
so
one
funny.
is this bad boy right here. You need the visual. Sorry.
Okay.
You need to be a YouTube kid.
Oh,
Oh,
shit!
that's right.
Buck got the Dungeons and Dragons Lego set for those
Oh
of you
my
driving
god,
your car.
that's the most
It's
incredible
so
thing I've ever
cool.
seen.
My
Oh.
my son and I like to put these together. We have put
Beautiful.
together the Daily Bugle and the Home Alone house and that 1.5 tall Optimus Prime. This Dungeons and Dragons set is like
It's gorgeous. First of all,
it is amazing.
Holy
the stuff that's in
shit,
it, the
that
minis
box
that are
is
in it.
incredible.
It's got a giant red dragon, a displacer beast, a beholder, an owlbear, a gelatinous cube. It's got
That's
a bunch
so
of
cool,
minifigs. It is 3,745 pieces.
Holy
is-
camole!
Like
Good
four,
set.
it's only like 40 pieces shy of the Daily Bugle, which we put together a couple summons ago, which was huge and took forever.
Yeah,
but
yeah, that one is massive.
I was just so excited about this for more than anything else. Like this opens the door, right? Like,
Yeah, dude, they have the game module. I think comes in the box, right? There's like,
but I mean, not just that. I mean, like, we didn't know what the set was going to be, right? So what if it was like the yawning portal, and it's like, well, we're just going to plop that on the table every week when we play D&D. You know,
Yeah,
this is
true.
set scenery and using these minifigs for dungeon crawling. Like, what the heck is wrong with that to use on your board, right? So-
yeah, that he opens up huge like playability in terms of DMs making dungeons. You could make the whole
Yeah.
dungeon and then just like
Yep.
bring it in a box and then just
And-
like, plop
And
it on
add
the
the
table.
pieces,
Oh
add
my
rooms
God.
one at a
Yeah.
time. Like easily add rooms. This opens up an amazing can of worms, I think, for this partnership that they've got here. I really hope this
Yeah.
goes a long way because, yeah, exactly like you just said. I mean, imagine that. Or like,
And-
yeah.
I was gonna say, and Lego's moneymaker is we need characters to turn into minifigs. And guess who happens to have a book about this thick, filled with monsters and heroes and all sorts of lore bullshit characters that certain people who have played this game more than I know.
There's a couple of skeletons. There's a dragonborn bard. There's an elf
Oh.
in here. There's a
Ooh,
couple of them
Dragonborn
like
bard.
drinking little beers and ciders and stuff on the back of this thing. Like,
Honestly,
Fuck
I
yeah.
feel like
pumped.
the Venn diagram of D&D players and Lego fans is
That's the front,
probably a
that's the back.
circle. So
Yeah,
this makes sense. It only makes sense, honestly.
Yeah, but like I said, I look forward to what it's going to mean for the what it's going to mean for like actual D&D players, not
Yeah.
just like for me to set this up and toss it in like a display case, right?
I wonder how the
Oh, yeah.
movement and everything will work. Like if there's not squares on the, if it's like a certain number of pegs you move.
I mean, it
maybe?
wouldn't really matter, right? As long as you have a piece and there's like a spot to put a character, in the areas. I mean, we played on a square board because it makes combat a little easier, right?
Right.
But let's be honest, combat is not the most fun part about D&D if you're playing real D&D. That's just a portion of it.
Sure,
The
you're
dungeon
right.
crawling and the diplomacy and all the town stuff as well too. But be able to visually have the dungeons is like a blast.
Yeah, that's true because there's so much map tracking in Dungeons and Dragons where you're exploring a place. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You're not even fucking with any creatures of any type, be they, friend or
Right.
foe.
Right. Make the boss chamber an actual chamber kind of thing. Like
Yeah. Oh, you could probably hide secrets in there too, like a little
You
chest that opens up
Oh,
and you
yeah.
have an
There's
actual
a
thing in there.
bunch of secrets in this thing for sure. I mean, that's I know,
Lego
dude, right?
boat.
That sounds
All right.
cool.
Possibilities are endless.
That's all I'm saying. Everyone loves a good Lego boat. Okay, that's our show, guys. That's our show. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching or listening. Please make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify. You can also go check us out on Instagram and TikTok. Every once in a while, I'll post stuff on there. I bet we're going to be posting some of our content warning bullshit on there soon. I can guarantee you that. And you can find links to all that stuff at our link tree at linktree/the GTP. Buck, hit him with the new subscribers list.
Hey, new retro game subscribers this week: Kevin McKee, Timothy Enke, Hayden Kearney, Elvin Natal, Brad Peters, Zachariah Woodard, Aaron Jamar, Kyle Ferguson, Lawrence Young, Wesley Singletary, Andres Medina, Dave Calvar, and Jonathan Epp.
That's right. Those are all subscribers to the RetroGameTreasure.com. What is that? Well, that's a website owned and operated by the Megabuck himself. That's right. Metro Game Treasure is a monthly subscription service that sends collectors bespoke boxes of video games. I'm talking every console generation from the Atari to the PS4. Simply make your profile at www.retrogametreasure.com and you'll receive games tailored to fill out your collection. That means you tell them that you don't like sports games and they won't send you sports games. They won't send you games for consoles you don't have. They won't send you games you already have. It's incredible. RetroGameTreasure.com. Obsessed with video games since 1985. I forgot to thank Crunkwitch for the use of our theme song, Clash of the Droids. You can find them on Spotify or Apple Music or anywhere where you can find music on the internet. My name is Max Stein, and I love the retro. Sorry. My name is Max Stein, and I love the Game Treasure podcast.
He bailed. He bailed.
I love the Game Treasure podcast. It's so bad.
It's
so bad.
So bad.
Oh, man.